evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV, 25th day, February 2022. I am Moriwe Rabibawal. First are the major headlines for the world news this hour. 2 people get 12 strokes of cane each for stealing AC units, orthopedic mattresses in Abuja. Another Plateau monarch abducted. Bribed to be 4 others abducted in Kaduna. Prophetess, another bag, 14 years imprisonment for trafficking babies in Akwa Ibom. Billionaire kidnapper, Evans, 2 others sentenced to life imprisonment. At least 137 euros killed as invading Russian forces press deep into Ukraine. That's from their foreign scene. And sports story, Igalo names best player he ever played with. Saraki hails Buhari sends message to young Nigerians. INEC should roll out election guidelines. Article reacts as Buhari signs electoral law. Ukraine remain neutral. Foreign affairs expert urges Nigeria. The news in detail. Former Senate President Bukola Saraki has commended President Buhari for signing the Electoral Act amendment bill into law. According to him, the new electoral law provides an opportunity for Nigerians to choose leaders who can offer solutions to the challenges in the country. Saraki said, I commend President Muhammadu Buhari for finally signing the electoral amendment bill into law. Saraki urged young Nigerians to mobilize their friends across the nation to register and get their permanent voter cards to vote in the 2023 general election. I join the young people in these CSOs to take their effort to another level by mobilizing their friends and counterparts across the nation to go and register to vote in the coming general elections. According to him, the new law provides an opportunity for all Nigerians to be part of the effort to build a better future for our country. They have the chance to have their voices heard. If we want a fresh start, if we want a new direction for Nigeria, we will have to vote for it. For too long, the whole electoral law has been part of the problem. We can now seek to elect our leaders, having in mind the current challenges facing our country. That is why it is with great joy that I welcome the news that Nigeria finally has a new electoral law. It's better late than never. Still on politics, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has told the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to roll out the 2023 election guidelines without further delay. Atiku said this following President Muhammadu Buhari's signing of the new electoral bill on Friday. According to him, the electoral umpire needs to roll out the guidelines so that political parties and Nigerians could commence preparations for the 2023 general elections. Atiku, who was a candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in 2019, is said to be interested in the 2023 race. He said, now the legal framework for the 2023 elections is in place following President Muhammadu Buhari's assent to the electoral bill. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, needs to roll out the election guidelines in earnest so that the political parties and Nigerians can fully commence the journey to choose their leaders in 2023. To our bilateral relation with Ukraine, the president of the Association of Foreign Relations Professionals in Nigeria, Ambassador Ganiu Lawal, has urged the Nigerian government to remain neutral as the Russia-Ukraine conflict enters its second day. The news agency of Nigeria reported that Lawal on Friday told reporters that diplomacy remained the best way to resolve conflict. The Punch had reported that Russia invaded Ukraine on Thursday, February 24, 2022. According to NAN, Lawal advised that rather than taking sides, Nigeria should join other nations in suing for peace. At this time, it is important that the Nigerian government should remain neutral, as we have been non-aligned all along. Nigeria should join other countries suing for peace because the world needs peace at this time more than ever. The Nigerian government has made arrangements for our citizens who want to leave as soon as the airport is open. Where it is not possible, a safe corridor will be negotiated for evacuation of civilians, Lawal said. Commenting on the crisis, Lawal berated actors for not observing rules of engagement or toying with the path of diplomacy. He said that the world had a strong diplomatic architecture put in place to forestall bullying of smaller countries by bigger powers through collective security efforts. The implication is to allow peace to reign and refrain from provocative moves that threatens world peace, respect for the rule and spirits of the rule of engagement, Lowell added. The AFRPN president further said that the ongoing crisis would have a ripple effect on the economies of Africa and Nigeria in particular, as African countries rely on importation, NAN reported. And to the next story. A Babalaga Senior Magistrate Court on Friday sentenced Rebecca Danjuma, 25, and Andrew McDem, 23, to 12 strokes of cane each for stealing 9 split AC units and 3 orthopedic mattresses from a hotel. The police charged Danjuma, McDem, and Lamba Ayuba with criminal trespass, joint act, and theft. While Danjuma and McDem pleaded guilty, Ayuba pleaded not guilty. Senior Magistrate Mohammed Munir, in his judgment, also sentenced Danjuma and McDem to 30-month imprisonment each. Magistrate Munir sentenced Danjuma and McDem with an option of fine. On count 1, they are sentenced to 6 months imprisonment or an option of 50,000 naira fine, while on count 2, the defendant is sentenced to 2 years imprisonment or an option of 150,000 naira fine. On count 3, the defendant is sentenced to 12 strokes of cane each. The convicts are to pay a compensation of 1.315 million naira each to the complainant, he ruled. Munir admitted the third defendant to bail in the sum of 500,000 naira and 2 shorties in like sum, which must reside within the court's jurisdiction. Some gunmen on Thursday abducted the district head of Pushit, Mangu local government area of Plateau State, the chief Dikyet Gopia. Daily polls gathered that the gunmen broke into his residence of the paramount ruler and met him in the sitting room watching the news before he was whisked away. However, no demand is said to have been made by the abductors as at the time of filing this report. When contacted, the spokesman of the Plateau State Police Command, ASP Uba Ogaba, said the command is aware of the abduction of the paramount ruler of Pushit who was abducted yesterday, and a tactical team has been deployed to the area to try and rescue the district head. Daily Post records that his abduction is the third incident in about 3 months in the States. Among those kidnapped in the last 3 months were the paramount ruler of Piem Chiefdom in Mangu LGA, His Royal Majesty Charles Matu Dekat, who was abducted on 26 December 2021, while the district head of Wang, Joe South LGA, His Royal Highness Dagyang Balak, was abducted early January 2022. Following the abduction of the Sompian, Charles Matu Dekat before he was released 5 days later, the United Mongol Lawyers Association, UMLA, had described the incident as an attack on the entire traditional institution in Plateau states. And to Kaduna State, a girl who was about to be married and 4 others at a village, Kasendam in Rigachukun, community of Igabi, local government area of Kaduna State, have been kidnapped by terrorists. A community leader, Madam Abdul Rashid, explained that the terrorist attack was the first of its kind in the community. According to him, we have informed the police about it. They were yet to contact the families of the victims. He further explained that the terrorists came to the community and kidnapped 5 locals, including the girl who was about to be married, adding that the terrorists went to 3 houses and picked the victims at gunpoint. He added that the terrorists came heavily armed and attacked the community at about 1 a.m. on Wednesday. Malam Abdul Rashid noted that in one of the houses, there was a woman with her grandchildren sleeping, saying that the terrorists took her grandchild, who was about to be married. The old woman confirmed that they were fast asleep when the terrorists came into their room, disrupted their sleep, and asked Khadija and Sabilu to follow them. She added that the terrorists stole their phone and bread that they kept on the table, stressing they were thrown into confusion. The Police Public Relations Officer, Kaduna State Police Command, ASP Mohammed Jabige, was yet to respond to the inquiries on the attack. A 34-year-old prophetess, Esther Edet Asuko of Mbipong Atai in Ibesipo Asuta, local government area of Akwa Ibom State, and one Blessing Akudo Sunday, a 49-year-old native of Umuoba Isiala in Abia State, have been sentenced to 14 years imprisonment each for buying and selling 2 children between the ages of 1 and 2 at a sum of 500,000 naira. The presiding judge, Justice Okon, who handed down the judgment, said the convict and others now applied on September 2013 at Ndong Uran in Uran local government area of Akwa Ibom State conspired to commit a felony, child buying and selling, contrary to Section 28 and 2 of Akwa Ibom State Child Right Law 2008. Esther and Blessing were standing trial with a 72-year-old visually impaired Osieluka Okoye from Idemili North local government area of Anambra State, who was discharged and acquitted over the inability of the prosecution to prove the charges against him beyond reasonable doubt. The court held that there is no evidence that the third accused gained financially for his role in the child dealing racketeering. Justice Okon found the fourth accused person, Esther Edet, and the second accused, Blessing Akudo Sunday, guilty of unlawfully removing and taking away two siblings without their parents' consent and selling them in Abia and Anambra states. The court further held that it is not open to argument or debate and contestation that a father has access to his children and thus exercises lawful care over them whenever the children are with him. The reality is that the father not only consented but took an active part in giving away the children. Whatever was his motive is irrelevant and immaterial for the purpose of the provisions of Section 28 of Akwa Ibom State Child Right Law 2008. Justice Okon said he believed the evidence of the prosecution witnesses that the fourth and second accused persons benefited financially from their dealings with the father of the children names withheld by me. In count 4, the fourth and second accused persons are each sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. In count 5, the fourth and second accused persons are each sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. The sentences shall run concurrently. Moving further on the world news, Justice Akeem Oshodi of the Lagos High Court in Ikeja on Friday sentenced Chukwu Dimeme of Wudimeki aka Evans and his accomplices Uche Amadi and Okechukwu Nwachukwu to life imprisonment. The court found Evans guilty of the kidnapping of Mr. Donatus Duno, the Chief Executive Officer CEO of Maidon Pharmaceuticals Limited. In a 3-hour judgment, Justice Akeem Oshodi found the 3 persons guilty of conspiracy and kidnapping. The judge, however, discharged and acquitted the other co-defendants, Ogechi Uchechukwu, Chilaka Ifeanyi, an ex-soldier, and Victor Aduba, also an ex-soldier. He held that there was no evidence linking them to the crimes. From that story, we go straight to a foreign story. Invading Russian forces pressed deep into Ukraine as deadly battles reached the outskirts of Kiev, with explosions heard in the capital every Friday that the besieged government described as horrific rocket strikes. The blast in Kiev set off a second day of violence after Russian President Vladimir Putin defied Western warnings to unleash a full-scale ground invasion and a air assault that quickly claimed dozens of lives and displaced at least 100,000 people. The United States and its allies responded with a barrage of sanctions, but the Russian forces' apparent intent Friday on pressing home their advantage after a string of key strategic victories on day one. Horrific Russian rocket strikes in Kiev, Ukraine Foreign Minister Dmitry Kuleba posted on Twitter after explosions were heard in the capital before dawn. Last time our capital experienced anything like this was in 1941, when it was attacked by Nazi Germany. Ukraine defeated that evil and will defeat this one. At least 137 heroes were killed during the 4th day of fighting. President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Thursday as he called up conscripts and reservists nationwide to fight in the general mobilization. Zelensky said there was a new iron curtain between Russia and the rest of the world in the Cold War, adding in a later speech his nation had been left alone. Who is ready to fight alongside us? I don't see anyone. And while the United States moved to impose sanctions on Russian elites and banks, it stressed that American forces would not head to Eastern Europe to fight in Ukraine. NATO said it had activated defense plans for allied countries, but NATO Chief Jens Stoltenberg said there was no plan to send allied forces into Ukraine. From that story, we'll go straight to the sports story, which ends the world news. Former Manchester United striker Odion Igalo has named Bruno Fernandes as the best player he has played with in his glittering career so far. Igalo said this when he appeared as a guest on Thursday evening's edition of Inside the Eye to answer questions from Watford supporters. The 32-year-old played alongside Fernandes during his time at Manchester United during the 2020-2021 season. The Super Eagles attacker made 23 appearances for Manchester United, scoring 5 goals during his time at Old Trafford. Asked to name the best player he played with, Igalo said, I would say I played with a lot of good players. I would just say Bruno Fernandes. That was the world news from BGI TV, but before we go, a quick recap of the headlines once again. Electoral Act, Saraki hails Buhari, sends message to young Nigerians. INEC should roll out election guidelines. Atiku reacts as Buhari signs electoral law. Ukraine, remain neutral. Foreign affairs expert urges Nigeria. 2 people get 12 strokes of cane, each for stealing AC units, orthopedic mattresses in Abuja. We also brought to you another Play 2 monarch abducted. Bribed to be 4 others abducted in Kaduna. Prophetess, another bag 14 years imprisonment for trafficking babies in Akwa Ibom. Billionaire kidnapper, Evans, 2 others sentenced to life imprisonment. And to foreign story, at least 137 heroes killed as invading Russian forces press deep into Ukraine. And finally, sport. Igalo names best player he ever played with. Thank you for watching. On our YouTube channel, The Analyst, Baba Gbagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell to enjoy our broadcast. On Facebook, Gbagede Imo with Alawide Adebayo. Please like and follow the page to enjoy the broadcast as well. On Instagram, Gbagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of event and function, the phone number streaming on your screen is the direct number to dial for advert placements. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. Good evening.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.